So what's up, pop culture fans? Welcome back to the JeffMan316 Pop Culture Reporter channel. I'm your host, as always, JeffMan316. And in this video, I'm back with some Shudder reviews. Yeah, baby, that's right. Reviews. I said reviews, not review. So I'm way behind on my Shudder reviews, actually, on this channel. And I wanted to go ahead and pump out some before they shut off my screener account. Oh, hey, wait. They can't do that, can they? So, well, in this video, I'm going to cover not one, not two, but three Shudder movies, baby. Yeah, count them. 3 movies that are currently streaming on Shudder right now. So, are these movies worth your time, or are some of them just hot garbage? Go ahead and watch the rest of the video, and you'll find out. What are we waiting for? Let's go! So there are 3 movies to tackle in this review, as I said in the intro. I'm going to pump these out really fast, so listen up. Keep your ears open. First up, Nocebo. Nocebo stars Eva Green and Mark Strong, and a great Filipino actress whose name I just know I'm going to murder here, but I'm going to give it a shot. Fonacier. Man, I'm so sorry. The movie was directed by Lorcan Finnegan, and it runs about an hour and 36 minutes. So the plot of this movie goes like this. A fashion designer suffers from a mysterious illness until help arrives in the form of a Filipino caregiver. The movie starts off with this real creepy as hell scene that ends with Eva Green being hounded by some demon looking dog. Get it? Hounded?
It stinks.
Okay, move on. So Eva Green has always been one of my favorite actresses. She's always been willing to, let's say, flaunt what the good Lord gave her, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, boobs have never killed anyone, you know?
Yeah, well, that's...
I mean, you can suffocate somebody.
I actually...
But sorry, boys, none of that here in this movie.
No titties! No titties!
In this movie, Eva is not afraid to show her more down-to-earth side, so to speak. And she was drugged down hard by that mysterious illness. Rode hard and hung up wet, as they might say. But Eva is the shining star here, though. She gives an amazing performance and very emotional in some scenes. Her husband is played by Mark Strong, and he gives a so-so performance. He really does do a better job at playing bad guys in movies. He was in Shazam, and he's in Murder Mystery 2 that's on Netflix. He really isn't believable here as a very sympathetic husband. It would have been more realistic if maybe he lost it and lost his patience with the situation long before he did in the movie. Let's just say this movie does start out strong, but it gets weak quick. You learn more about the main characters in this movie through a series of flashbacks, and I like that sometimes. So as the movie goes farther, the picture about them gets clearer about what's really going on here. Then that's where the movie kind of gets watered down. There's more style than substance. And just when you thought it might get good towards the end, you find out that this has just been a psychological horror movie wrapped around a socio-economic injustice film, which does lead to a tragic and horrific situation in the movie, though. But yeah, I was let down by this. The back half of this one is really weak. So I'm going to say this is actually maybe worth a watch, especially if you're an Eva Green fan and you want to see her performance. But I don't really see me watching this repeatedly. This just gets a right in the middle from me. So on to the second movie. It's called A Wounded Fawn. So here's the premise of this one. A serial killer brings an unsuspecting new victim on a weekend getaway to add another body to his ever-growing count. She's buying into his faux charm, and he's eagerly lusting for blood. What could possibly go wrong? Sounds great, right? The film stars Josh Rubens and Sarah Lind, and it was directed by Travis Stevens. This movie runs about an hour and a half even. So after watching some clips of this one online before I actually watched it, I thought it had such potential It looked like a real throwback to like 70s or 80s, like gritty, grimy slasher films of the genre. Lots of film grain and dust here in the filter they use, so I love the look of the film. And it does start that way, but then, bam. Right in the middle, you get Hornswoggle. The serial killer gets whacked on the head, and then he wakes up. And you can't tell from that point whether what is going on is really happening in the real world, or whether it's just like a delusional dream caused by that head injury of his. But at that point, the movie turned into some kind of artsy-fartsy psychological thriller, which included a visit from some ancient forest furies, passing their judgment over the killer and making him learn the evil of his ways.
Who the fuck wrote this bullshit?
I will say the acting, though, from both leads here is pretty amazing. Especially the female lead. She's very real and natural in her performance. I really like her. She was also in another film that I enjoyed on Shudder, Jacob's Wife. That movie starred Barbara Crampton, and you know how much I like Barbara Crampton. That movie was much better overall, but yeah, I digress. We got to get back to A Wounded Fawn. So the ending of this movie is what lost it for me. Now, I'm not going to spoil what happens, but think Peter Griffin when he hurt his leg. Ah! 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 Something goes on with the killer at the end of this that extends into the credits. And it was so long and drawn out that it took this movie basically down a whole rating level for me. I didn't like it at all. So this one gets a meh as well. So, with that being said, we're on to the last one. So, could this get any better? It does. Last but certainly not least, we have Scare Package 2, Rad Chad's Revenge. I personally think this is one of the best of the bunch. I loved everything about this one. I even bought that Blu-ray in my last weekly movie hunt. Check that video out. This is a horror comedy through and through. Lots of laughs. While a movie, let's say like Renfield, was a horror comedy in itself, that one was funny because of awkward situations that the main character was placed in. This one is all about parody of horror movies. Lots of rapid-fire jokes and horror tropes here. While some of the jokes don't really work, a lot do. And I had a lot of fun with this one. This is a sequel to the original movie called Scare Package. You probably should watch that one, but it really isn't necessary. A lot is explained along the way in this one, so the story actually goes like this. When horror guru Rad Chad Buckley's funeral turns into an elaborate series of hilarious death traps, the guests must band together and use the rules of horror to survive the bloody game. Yeah, just kidding. The plot is technically like a wraparound story, what I just read to you, of what is a pretty good anthology of horror shorts. And I love horror anthology movies. There's some good ones in here. The stories are pretty good. So you get Welcome to the 90s. And that shows what could happen if the final girls of horror movies actually became the victims and swapped roles. There's a story called The Night He Came Back Home Again, Part 6. The Night She Came Back. That's the entire title. It really shows the absurdity of horror sequels and the tropes. Special Edition is a parody of The Ring, and it uses a laser disc as the video that's being played here, no less. I love it. That's a cool twist. So We're So Dead is a play on the Stand By Me type of movies where a group of kids who stick together to the end, and I do mean to the end, Reanimator style. So once all those are over and the main story's over, stick around though through the end credits because they do have some extra little bits at the end, and it's kind of cool. So you got several stories in the wraparound. I'm sure there's going to be something there that you're going to like. And if not, just play the game. Try to guess all of the movies that where they're poking fun of and doing their parodies of. You'll have some fun times there. So I'm actually going to say this one is on fire. 2 big thumbs up for me. But I would understand if some true horror fans don't like these types of movies. They aren't for everyone. But they were for me. I loved it. So what did you think of those 3 movies? Have you watched them yet? And if not, are you going to watch them based on what I said? Put some comments down below if you have watched them or you plan on watching them. Do you like Shudder? Do you not? I love Shudder. I can't recommend it more, and I think they're going to get ready to start up the Joe Bob Lash Drive-In again. I know it's going to be broken into 2 parts this time, but either way, that's worth the price of admission, so they say. But there's always some good movies on Shudder, and at least, like I said, if you want to have some fun, watch Scare Package. The other ones, if you like the plots or the actors and actresses that I mentioned, or the concept, they may be worth one watch, but I don't see a lot of repeated viewings with those. The Scare Package 2, I could see you watching multiple times to try to catch everything. So with that being said, drop a like on the video, even if you didn't like those movies or you did. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Do all that normal YouTube stuff. And hey, don't forget to hit the notification bell so it'll let you know when I post new videos, whether it be movie hunts, toy hunts, movie reviews, toy reviews, everything pop culture related. That's what we do here. So until next time, boys and girls, this has been JeffMan316. I'm still your pop culture reporter, and I'm signing out saying you guys be safe out there.
That was pretty good.